Hey guys, it's Clovis. I get YouTube comments all the time, and some of them are good and some of them are not so good. But some of them are vague as to where they're good or not. Sometimes I get asked questions that are legitimate questions, but they're just questions that don't have a proper answer. The question I am actually referring to was asked by Emptiness Gaming Channel. This guy is pretty persistent in wanting the answer for this, so this is why I'm making this video. Exactly for you, Emptiness Gaming Channel. So, let's see the question. Make video, how to make Buster Blader or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as deck leader. I told him Buster Blader what is in the game, to which he replied, Blackluster Soldier, what I meant, sorry. To level up a deck leader, to get a deck leader in general, you just need to level a card up. That's a simple answer, but that's not so simple, right? Emptiness Gaming Channel commented, you told me to get a copy of Blackluster Soldier and make him a star. I mean, he already is a star, he's like one of the most iconic monsters in the game. But anyways, to set him as my deck leader, but he is a ritual. How come I can get him a copy like a normal soldier? Stop. You would have noticed you can't get a copy of Blackluster Soldier in the game, which means you can't obtain, if you can't obtain a copy of it, you can't set it as a deck leader. It won't let you if you don't have a copy of it. If you look at your stuff with a star, you have a copy of it, all you need to do is press start and it becomes your deck leader. If you don't have the card, you can't make it your deck leader. And of course, again he comments, you didn't answer my question, how can I make Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon my deck leader? So look. You're not supposed to actually do this. The game doesn't want you to do it, okay? The game simply does not let you get these unobtainable cards, so we need third-party intervention, okay? And this is what hurts me deep inside whenever I get asked questions like this, because this is a question I used to ask all the time when I was young. Like, I'm not even joking. About, 10 years ago, I was scratching my head wondering, how do you get these unobtainable cards, blah, 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 blah. And I was shit out of luck because I'm Australian. I live in the PAL region, and if you live in the PAL region, you don't have access to cheating devices, like the NTSC region does. So, here's the problem, right? If you're typing in broken English, I assume you don't live in the States or Canada, which means you're in the PAL region, which means if I tell you need to get a cheating device for your console, you're going to ask if it works with your console, which I'm going to say no. You're going to ask which one to get, which it doesn't actually matter which one you get. They all work with NTSC, and you can convert the codes that I've made. I even get questions asking me, what's the all-everything code? I get people who ask me that who use the emulator on the NTSC version, and for some reason people can't figure out how to Google Action Replay Duels of the Roses, because if you did that, the first thing that shows up is my video, which has the codes in it. I know I'm acting like a smug asshole right now, but I mean, I actually put a lot of effort into my videos, not the videos themselves. I actually probably put more effort into making sure they have the information in them, the description is packed full to the brim of explanations if there's any that aren't in the video, and the video should be pretty self-explanatory if you speak English. If you don't speak English, I'm sorry, I only speak one language, so I can't answer any questions that are in Indonesian, Spanish, Indian, Pakistani. I'm sorry, but I'm not like a Superman. I can only really help English speakers, or people who understand English. So, I mean, we're 4 minutes into the video, and this is why I, just don't really answer questions like, how do you make this your deck leader? Because it's just going to start a whole string of conversation of explanation. But we're at this point, so I may as well go through the process of how I make these cards my deck leader. Alright, so this is where my PlayStation 2s are. The top one is an American one, the bottom one's a Japanese one. The Japanese one doesn't matter, it's just there because my American one's actually on its way out, I think. But look, here's the problem. So, if I tell you you need to get an American console, if you don't have one, well, you gotta start saving money and fork yourself out like $100 plus one of these. That's what I did. I literally, bought these things with my own money so that I could play Duelists of the Roses and put stuff on it, and I realistically do not expect anyone else to spend $100 plus on the console and games and everything, and a cheating device just to do that, but I like the game, so I did it. So, let's turn this off, first of all. here's what we do, okay? So, there's our disc, the fancy American disc. We need a cheating device. Here is my Action Replay Max. So, first of all, if you don't have an American console, you can't use one of these. And you have to buy these online. You know, they don't sell them in Australian power regions, really, unless they imported them. And even still, they still only work, you know, for use on US console. Says right there. So, yeah, you need a US console or else you can't use this. And if you can't use this, you can't get any of those fucking unobtainable cards. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but, I mean, like, this is the thing. I just hate to be the bearer of bad news, you know? I don't like saying to people they can't get what they want, because that really upset me when I was young, and I couldn't get, you know, those cards like Black Luster Soldier and Black Skull Dragon and shit like that as my deck leader. I always hated that, you know? I don't know. I'm over it now because, I mean, I've played this game since it came out, so, like, for 10 years I've known you can't really do this shit, so when I get comments in 2019 asking how to do it, it's like, well, sorry, I mean, you missed out on a lot. So, here's the problem with Action Replay Max, right? Sometimes it just doesn't work. It probably will work now. You can hear the disc spinning probably pretty rapidly, but it does take a while to load up, and I've got to be honest with you guys, most of the time, it just actually straight up does not work. Here we go. This thing sucks, by the way. I'm dead honest, guys. But now that we're on this screen, you know, I can actually turn back on my capture card. So, let's go ahead and do that. So now that we're on this screen, right, this is how bad the program is. Internet connection detected. Do you wish to check online updates? My PS2 is not plugged in. This program will just always ask you this anyways. So yeah, you go into expert mode. That's what they call it. You wait for it to load. Maybe it loads, maybe it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it's going to load now, but I'm serious. Half of the time it just does not load, and, you know, considering, like, there's 2, 3, 4 points where it loads before I can get into the game, more than half the time it just doesn't work. So, if I want to make a video where it's like a custom duel for you guys, I kind of need to spend like half an hour trying to get the PS2 to actually boot up with the code that I want to work, just to do one duel, and then, hey, they're my least viewed videos anyway, so I'll probably just stop doing them, to be honest. So, it finally finishes loading, and so you have to go all the way down to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels with Roses. You don't have to do this every time, actually. The one thing I give them credit for is, if you've entered a code on this before, you can do it again. But here's the problem, right? These codes all suck. I'm going to show you how bad these codes are. We're just going to go unlock all cards. This is the one we want, right? This is the best one in the game. This is what's going to give us a copy of every single card. So now we have to insert our game disc and press OK. So give me a second here. The disc spins so fast, by the way. It's actually crazy. Make sure your disc is spinning before you hit OK, otherwise it will just say hit OK again. Awesome, so the disc is spinning, we finally got in. I'm actually so glad that for this demonstration it's working, because I'm serious, guys, a lot of the time it doesn't. Alright, so, now that we've entered this cheat in, let's press the start button and see what it's done. And you can look, it's absolutely fucked. This code is really broken, it's really bad, so I recommend you use the codes in the video that I made. Otherwise, you're gonna get this shit. Every current rank says special power, tune, terrain. It's just ridiculous. Of course, you do have all the cards, you know, you have 9 of everything and leader abilities, but, I mean, this is kind of bugged, I think. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I don't know. See, it's not actually letting me set a deck leader on my 3rd deck. That's how bad this code is. I mean, it's like, it does, but then I go back and then, I don't know, look. My point is, this fucking piece of shit sucks. It's so frustrating. I'm sorry, but it's just like, I don't want to tell you guys to buy this shit just to get a Blackluster Soldier as your deck leader. This cost me $20 to $30. The console cost me more than $100. Postage for both items probably cost me between $20 and $40 just to have those items shipped for me from the States to Australia alone. And it also cost me a few weeks of waiting time, you know, each time for all these products, so... And you probably didn't hear a fucking word I said because the capture card, the volume was very high. But I am kind of yelling, so look, fucking, let's just stop. Let's just stop. Let's just turn this shit off because this shit obviously isn't working. Okay, so now what we gotta do, I have to turn it off and then I have to put that other disc in. I have to put in a memory card that I have that may or may not read properly because, you know, we're using fucking 18-year-old equipment, essentially. And so let's see if that works. So put the action replay disc back in and turn it on, and that's what I have to do every time it doesn't work. This time, obviously, it worked, but I entered in that shitty code to demonstrate something for you, so... If you guys actually look at the code you need to enter, it's fucking massive. If you fuck up, the game boots you out. The program just literally exits you out of the entire, like, 17 lines or whatever you entered, and that's it. You don't get a second chance. If you have entered a code that has a slightly similar string, the same thing will happen. If you enter that, it tells you that code has been entered before, even if it hasn't, and it boots you out. So, for the sake of your sanity, I recommend plugging in a USB keyboard for this shit, because it actually works. It still takes a while, but it's a lot less frustrating. If you enter a 17-line code, you know, just to do that shit, and it boots you out, you're going to be very, very pissed. I know this because this has happened to me before. I've done all this shit multiple times to make videos for you guys, and while I know a lot of you guys appreciate it, some of you guys really don't understand how frustrating some of this shit actually is. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I do it because I like the game, but fucking hell, I mean, it's frustrating because I don't want you guys to go through this. Like, I do it because of my dedication to the game. I do this for entertainment purposes. I set my deck leader as Blackluster Soldier so you guys can see it. It saves you the hassle of spending all this money and wasting all this time doing all this shit. It is just that annoying, you know? Fucking hell, man. I mean... You guys probably think I'm, like, really mad and crazy, but I'm actually like this more often than you'd think. So yeah, look. So here is the passwords I've entered in this thing. These are AI-based passwords. This changes the enemy AI, but look. I'm actually just gonna totally fucking skip this shit. Let's just pretend we've spent 15 minutes or however long it takes to enter that code, and it did work. Let's just pretend it did work, because we're in a fairy tale land, and unlike the real life where, you know, things shit on you, let's just pretend in this video it guaranteed to work. So, let's just say it's prompting us to enter in the disk, blah 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 blah. So we take out our disk. The disk spins really fast, by the way. And then, of course, we enter in, you know, we restart. Or the game, I keep calling it a game. Oh, and look at this, look at this. So, if I actually, you know, the disk is just having trouble reading. It's just like, I mean, if that didn't load, then that would insinuate that if I did enter the code and put that disk in, it wouldn't have loaded. Meaning, I would have had to exit out and enter the code again. So... Look, by this point, I'm sure you guys are probably thinking, what the fuck is this video? What the fuck is Clovis even talking about? The whole point of this video is to express to you guys the frustration of this bullshit that is Action Replay Max. This is the only option I have, and it's absolute dog shit. Okay, so you press the start button, and you go into Custom Duel, and let's say we've got all the cards in the game. We've just entered the code. And look at deck leader is Skull Guardian. Oh my god, it's amazing. Because if you look here, we have all of these cards in our library. We can go tap AP sort and look, it's everybody's favorite card, guys. It's the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. We can set it as a deck leader. Gate Guardian deck leader. Oh, this is the best ultimate deck ever. This is like the most epic fucking duel I've ever seen. We're gonna have Gate Guardian as our deck leader. SD, because he is the worst deck leader ever, but everyone on YouTube thinks he's the coolest Yu-Gi-Oh monster ever, so... yeah, we're just going to go ahead and enter the shittiest field we can find. I entered this for a completely different duel, actually. And then, you know, when we load into the game, you'll see. So look, we have a deck leader. It is fucking... It's everyone's favorite monster, guys. It only took us like $150 and weeks of waiting for shit to arrive. Painless fucking minutes of re-entering in the same code, trying to get it to work, manufacturing the code and everything. And here's the result, guys. Here's the result. We have a deck leader that reduces the damage of dragons and spellcasters. Yay! So, look. For anyone else asking, how do you set an unobtainable monster as your deck leader? Get an American console, get a cheating device, look at my video, and thank you.